everyone, and welcome to the Purpose Summit. I'm Sue Erda. I'm your host for this event, and I'm one of the publishers at Powerful You Publishing. And I love what I do. I get to talk to and meet the most incredible people, mostly women is our audience that we work with. And it's just a joy. It's a joy and pleasure, and it feels like I am living on purpose by doing this. So it's really kind of cool. And I'm so happy that you have signed up to listen to this, because I know if you signed up, that means that you are also on some journey of purpose. Either you're finding your purpose, you're living more into your purpose, you're wondering what the heck it is. It's like, so it's great that you're here, because we have so many authors, these 20 women who are here to share with you their own journey of purpose or something around that will help you to hone in and feel really great in your life. So thanks for being here. Thanks for signing up. And I'm really excited today because I get to talk with Donna Wu. She is a really energetic woman who you'll see when we meet. We meet her in just a minute, but I'm going to read a brief introduction of Donna, and then we'll get started talking with her. In over 20 years as a chiropractic physician, Dr. Donna Wu helps thousands of patients, including professionals, executives, other doctors, business owners, and their families. She noticed that their stress levels, desire to please people, and not living life intentionally contributed to their pain. And when she became too burned out personally and professionally, she took a pause and allowed the universe to lead her in an exciting new direction. As an ambassador of happiness, her main purpose now is to inspire and help people live with intention and cultivate their relationship with themselves so they can create a life of abundance, health, wealth, usefulness, and joy. And Donna, I'm so happy to see you today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Sue. Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to talk to you because, you do have that beautiful energy and you make me smile a lot. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Sue.
Yep. And I love your topic that you chose here. So the title of your interview is Living in Alignment. Understanding it is not always a straight line. And anybody that's lived any bit of life knows this, but I know you're going to shine some light on that for us. So, let's get started with a big question. Okay. So what would you say is the number one principle that has dramatically and profoundly impacted your own life? And how can other people use this principle to help them have some results that you've had?
Oh, thank you, Sue. I think really the number one principle that's really helped me is actually planning and then having an intention. And really, like the book says, living on purpose. And I think a lot of times I see friends and people where they don't really know where they're going and they just kind of flail around in life and they end up getting what they get, as they say. And so planning has really helped me. And when I have gotten off course, it's helped me to remember what my core values are and my what I planned for my life. And so if I get off track, which I have, then I can come back to what's important for me in my life. And just looking into the future, like looking in the future. I know the universe and karma has something to do with it as well. But I just really think having a vision for what we want our lives to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100% because my dad used to say, and if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So a vision is so important. Create it and move towards it. And it's amazing what shows up for us and what we recognize along the way. And, we all hit bumps, right? Speed bumps, road bumps, like stepping stones or stumbling blocks, one or the other. But why is it important, would you say, that whenever we meet these challenges or we find these blocks, that we resolve them within ourselves and with the things that we've lived through in our past?
Well, I really think to resolve that, because if we're holding on to shame and guilt, then we can never move forward. Because we're like, oh my gosh, I should have done this. I should have done this. Oh my gosh, why did I do this? And it's already been done, and there's nothing we can do about what happened in the past. But what we can do is live in the present, and then what we're doing now in the present can help us into our future. And I just see so many people like, I just, they don't want to talk about their feelings and they bury their feelings. And, with my patients, even like, they just get so stressed, and I would do that too, but just, it's all into the body. And then they just can't move forward. And, so following with their vision and their intention.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so important because it's about us, right? It's about us and what we decide to hold on to, or what we, just can't let go of, perhaps. It's both of those. But let's move on to relationships. So everybody talks about relationships these days, but usually when we hear the word relationship, we think about relationship with other people. And I would like to know what you think about having a relationship with ourselves. Like, why is it so important for us to have that relationship with ourselves?
Yes, and really, Sue, with that relationship, because the relationship with ourselves and how we feel about ourselves, it impacts, our health, and that's going to be how we decide what we eat, if we're exercising, our stress levels. So it impacts our health. It's going to impact our wealth, just like, even in my practice, because I just felt like I'm a doctor. I'm supposed to be helping people. And sometimes I wasn't, I was overworking myself, and that's what led to burnout and maybe not charging as much. And then, so how we feel about ourselves impacts our health, our wealth, how useful we feel, because sometimes, we can get really hard on ourselves. And then also it helps us be useful to the rest of the world. If we can help ourselves, we can help other people. And then also having more fun, and having more joy in our life.
Yeah, it's so funny, like people ask me all the time, what do you do for fun? And fun isn't one of those things I think about very often. How important do you think it is to have fun?
Well, you know what? It's funny. I think it is fun, but that's actually the reason why I say have fun now is because my mom always got on me she said I worked too hard. And so she always was reminding me to have more fun. And that's where this crossroads is. And this is part of the chapter in the book, is that where I'm talking about where, kind of balancing being useful and also having more joy and fun in my life. So I have to remind myself to have fun.
I think it's a practice and it's a process, and we have to allow ourselves that.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. So this is called the Purpose Summit, and the book is titled Women Living on Purpose. So tell me, Donna, do you think that we have all come here with some sort of purpose or a mission?
Oh, definitely. And, and it's funny because I struggled with this for years. Since a teenager. And the first time I saw a movie and they said, what's the meaning of life? I was a preteen. And I go, oh, that's so silly. We're just here. But then as I got a little bit older, like maybe 16 or 18, I was like, what is the meaning of life and what is our purpose? And so, that's kind of been on a quest. And with me being a chiropractor, or, being trained as that, I thought that was my purpose. But now I have found that we can have many purposes. And like my goddaughter, she, and I think it's great that we're all different, because, for me, I don't like to cut into people. I don't like all the blood and all the, all the gore. That's why I chose chiropractic. And my goddaughter, she loves cutting into people, and she finds it exciting, and she wants to be a neurosurgeon. She just graduated college, but she wants to cut into people. And so I really think that it's important that we're all different, and we should celebrate our differences. And just like building a house, there's engineers. You can't put a house together with one person. You need an engineer, contractors, architects. And then you need the people to put the carpet in the house and the tile. So yes, I think we all have a different purpose.
I agree with that. Let me ask you this follow-up question to that. Do you think that our purpose can change along the way?
Oh, yes, yes. And that is what I was struggling with. And this is part of writing this chapter, because I had gone through so much to get to where I was to become a chiropractic physician. And I thought I'd made it. I'm like, this is it. But then I got burned out. And then I really kind of achieved everything I set my goals on. And I kind of got, I don't want to say bored, but a little bit like, well, now what? What do I do now? Like I had everything. And and now I'm going through that transition myself, where now I'm, being in the book and speaking more. So yes, I definitely think our purpose can change.
I think so too. And like that's part of your topic that you chose living in alignment, which, a chiropractor alignment, all that stuff, straight lines. So I love that because it does show that it kind of can go like this. And then though we end up where we're supposed to be, I believe. So I think that's
Yes.
cool. So do you think, well, let me ask you this. How can someone know if they are on the right path for themselves?
Yes, and I think it comes back to our core principles. And the principle that I was talking about earlier is living on intention and knowing what our core values are. And if someone doesn't know right now what their core value is, it's okay, just right now, just take a few minutes and just think about what's important to you and what you want for your life. And if you can't see, 5 years, 10 years from now, maybe just look into next week, but just start somewhere and just take a piece of paper and write it down. And then, so, again, it's that knowing where you want to go. And if you know where you want to go and you go off path, then just come back to where you want to go. And another example is in chiropractic college, we, we were taught normals. We were taught what the normals were. If someone had a normal resting heart rate or what the normal bone should look like, a normal x-ray should look like with the alignment. We were just taught normal. And so then our professor said, we can't teach you everything because there's like 7 billion people on this planet. You're going to encounter different situations. But if you know what normal is, you'll know what not normal or abnormal is. And then you can help figure out, how to get back to normal.
Yep. So what are you saying? So if I need to know my own normal or the normal for everybody?
Your own normal. Sorry. Yes. Your own. Yes. And everyone has a different normal, but
Yeah.
yes.
And so what would be some examples of core values? If somebody's just thinking, well, I don't know, like I know what's important to me, but like, how do I decide my values? Because for instance, fun is a value somebody greatly has, or the adventure maybe, or security. But how can somebody, like, can you define like those values?
Yes. And I think, listening to your own intuition and what you value, what's important. Like for me, those are the things that I value. I value health. I do value wealth because I do know that it is important because I have had in my lifetime where, utilities were turned off and, it was, I even had one time in my life where I was living and I had a stamp, one stamp. And my neighbor in that back then, I think stamps were 34 cents. And she wanted one stamp and I gave it to her and it was really hard. And then she came back like the next week for another stamp. And I freaked out because I'm like, I cannot afford to give you another stamp. And so I think wealth is very important as well. So health, wealth, being useful and having fun. Those are my core values. So someone can set their own core values and see what they are. So for instance, too, when it came to my health, I noticed I was having more stress and with the work and my work schedule. And so I realized that, okay, I'm veering off. So I had to make a correction so I could get back to health.
Yeah. Okay. So I get it. So we got to stay in alignment with our own core values. Yeah. Beautiful. I like that example. So, Donna, you are very passionate. I can see it. I can feel it. You have a great, beautiful energy about you. And you love to help others. So what would you say, like, how would you help someone with their intention and their purpose? And why do you care? Why do you have a passion for other people in that way?
My gosh, well, because I see so many people, like not only patients, but I know like acquaintances or even friends. And sometimes I just want to shake them and say, oh my gosh, just think about it first, and like I said, I like to have fun also, but I always think too, putting in the hard work first and then going um, off to, and then you can have fun later. I think too, because health wise, so just going back to health, a lot of people, they'll eat whatever they want to do. They'll, their lifestyle habits, maybe they're smoking or drinking, not exercising. And it's fine when they're younger, but then what I hate to see is when they're older and they're falling apart, and they don't have their health, they don't have their wealth, and living like just not the best life that they can have, and not living up to their potential.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and you want to help and you want to do that. And that's why you're moving into the next phase of your career, your life, right? Because you
yes,
made a change. So
yes.
you were classically trained as a chiropractor, and you had a practice for many years, and you've seen lots of patients over the years, lots of people with lots of different issues. And I think that, well, I'm going to ask you two questions, but first I will ask you, are there any misconceptions people have about chiropractic work?
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, first of all, they think they can only go to a chiropractor if they have back pain or if they've been in a car accident. And that also that chiropractors only have 2 years of school. There's we're that there's no education. But first of all, it's a undergraduate degree, and then it's actually 5 academic years of chiropractic college, and then as far as prevention wise, we talk about nutrition, lifestyle habits, stress management, exercise. So it's not just to go when you're in pain, but to actually go when you have to help prevent problems. In my practice too, I did a lot of soft tissue work where I massage, but it's called soft tissue, and to help break down the scar tissue and the knots, because what can happen is those knots can get in the way of the body and the blood flow and the nervous system flow of healing, and it can cause disease. And so it's good to get that broken down. And then the alignments, they have shown that getting adjusted, and even in the neck, that it can help the brain function better. And it's really a good stress reducer as well.
I've got to do that.
Yes.
Absolutely. So my second question to that, and you've kind of answered it in this, I was going to ask you about chiropractic. Is it really just, some people have this, I think, thought that, okay, you go to a chiropractor, they crack your back, they think it's very stressful and it could be, painful and things like that. But that's not true. It sounds more like a holistic practice.
It is a holistic practice, but I do also tell my patients, because sometimes, I can be with patients, I can be very gentle, but I can also push pretty hard. But I tell patients that sometimes it can hurt, just like in life. Sometimes you have to go through some of the painful things in order for it to feel better later on. And so I just kind of prep them for that. I go, we're going to do what we can to loosen you up and soften you up before we adjust you. But it may be harder now, but you'll feel so much better later. And just like in life, put in the hard work now and you'll reap the benefits later.
Yeah, terrific. Terrific. Well, this has been great. I've loved talking to you. And I know that there are going to be people that want to reach out to you. Let me ask you this. So you're transitioning out of chiropractic. What's next for you?
Well, I'm going to be in your book, so thank you so much. And writing, and then I would like to be speaking more, and part of the reason I'm transitioning too is because I feel like I can reach more people versus just being in my office. And so, what I'd like to do too is, to contact me, you can contact me at Donna at drdonnawoo.com, and that's DRDONNAWOO.com, and contact me, and I can send you a nighttime routine. And because, to set your intention at night, and then because a lot of people don't get a good night's sleep. So set your intention at night, but then also to wake up more refreshed in the morning. And so I'll have a routine that you can do. So if you want to contact me there.
Beautiful. We can all use that, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, Donna, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Do you have any final words for anyone that's listening right now?
Yes, I think that, love yourself, because when we love ourselves, not only are we helping our own health and wealth and being useful and our own joy, but we're also going to heal the world. Right now the world needs healing. And I think in order for us to heal the world, we first have to start with ourselves, to heal ourselves first.
I agree with you so much. I'm with you 100%. The world needs healing. The world needs love. And it all starts here. So thank
Yes.
you so much. Thank you so much. Donna, it's a pleasure talking with you today. It's also a pleasure working with you. And I love your story in the book. I know that people will be inspired by that. It's, there's so much about you and your journey, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much for being a part of this.
Well, thank you, Sue, because I'm just so happy that I was able to join, and you have just done an incredible job. Everything's so organized, and your upbeat personality, and you're so loving. You're so giving to us. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure, really. Like I said, I've said this on this summit. I don't know if I said it at the beginning of this, but it's a pleasure. It's a joy. I get to meet the most incredible people. So I love it. So thank you for that. And listeners, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, because I know you're on your own journey to live more on purpose in your life. So thank you for that. And be sure to listen to the rest of the summit interviews also on June 29th. That is the launch day for this book, Women Living on Purpose. So come to our website, womenonpurposebook.com, and we'll guide you to buy the book on Amazon. You could either buy the paperback book, or on launch day, we will have a 99-cent Kindle. So you could buy that if you like. And then when you bring your Amazon receipt number back to the website, plug it in with your name, we will send to you access to lots of free gifts, bonus gifts from our partners, from the authors. And it's really great. I mean, just for the gifts, it's awesome to do. So be sure to buy that book, and you'll love the stories in the book, just like you love these women that you're listening to on this summit. So thank you so much. Give yourself that gift of that book, and we will see you on the next summit interview. Bye for now.